Chinese 21 hosted an event at SBS Business Center in Newark, California on Saturday, highlighting influential members of the Bay Area Chinese community. The 2013 Chinese Business Annual Conference saw many important business people coming together to celebrate their great achievements and to do a bit of networking. Former Mayor of the City of Newark, David Smith, gave a speech at the start of the event and expressed his appreciation.
It is my pleasure and my privilege to be here today for the Outstanding Achievement Award for 2013. And on behalf of the great city of Newark and Mayor Al Nagy, who will be joining you this afternoon, it is a pleasure to welcome you here on behalf of all of the residents and businesses of the city of Newark.
Popular artist Zhang Zechuan was at the event showing some of his work.
特别呢，这次我带了一张长卷，是美国的大峡谷，是用中国的彩墨和融合的一个美国的抽象表现的手法画出来的。
The annual conference showcases the considerable contributions that the Chinese community makes to Bay Area business. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. Fleet Week, the well-known San Francisco celebration, may be in jeopardy this year if Congress and the President cannot prevent some automatic spending cuts from taking effect. The event draws hundreds of thousands of people to the Bay Area in October, and its loss could have a major economic impact on the city. If the scheduled budget changes are not resolved by March 1st, the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels jets, one of the main attractions of the event, could be grounded. Also in danger is the popular Parade of Ships, and without those two centerpieces, the entire festival may not happen. Additionally, the budget cuts may affect many programs to assist the homeless and low-income families in the city. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
The Alliance for Preserving the Truth of the Sino-Japanese War met at Main's restaurant in Palo Alto on Sunday. The alliance discussed the growing tension between China and Japan in the East China Sea regarding the Diaoyu Island territory. Ignatius Steen, Executive Vice President, and Alan Ho, Alliance Chairman, expressed their concerns.
Japan is using this opportunity to start up. They already said it. The goal we didn't achieve before World War II, become the master in the Eastern Asia. Now we haven't fired a single shot. We're almost there. And they are using the U.S. Against China. They were the ones, the third party, has had a lot to gain. On the other hand, the U.S. needs China, and China needs the U.S. We are the perfect strategic partners. And only a mutual beneficial relationship will be really the reasonable answer to this talk. So we're reminding the Obama administration, don't fall in the trap and let Japan return back into expansionism and militarism.
I just want to remind the American people that in World War II, Chinese and Americans, we fight together to the Japanese. So remember that the Japanese when they attack the Pearl Harbor. So don't get fall in the trap in the Japanese. Remember this. China, I don't think any threat from China to the America. So beware of that. I think America should be the United States should be get well with China. So we don't have I don't see any point to fight with China to get any advantage.
Regarding Japanese Prime Minister Abe's meeting with President Obama on the 19th, the alliance warned the government to do no harm to the Sino-U.S. relationship. Betty Yuan, CEO of the Northern California Chinese Culture Athletic Federation and the owner of Main's restaurant, expressed their views.
Japan is extremely ambitious. They want to get back the power before World War II. Okay, that is extremely dangerous. So at least when Abe is coming this time, we should not make a statement like Hillary Clinton and Campbell said, you know, United States and Japan are allies, and we have a content, okay, will control the area. You see, this is very dangerous. Now they are actually getting to the point could really break out a war. We hope this is not the case.
Yes, this is Qing, and I represent our organization and China Peaceful Unification Association. And I think all the Chinese have to be together against Japan. Okay, we need to, doesn't matter where you come from Taiwan or from Hong Kong or from China. I think we all Chinese. We have to all get together. Japanese doing the things is not right. So we need to be together.
As a member of Fascist Alliance, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. Lee Bing-he, Joanne Yang, ICN San Francisco.
Organizers of the Global Winter Wonderland Holiday Carnival held a celebration dinner Sunday night, inviting everyone who took part in the making of the event. The dinner was a great time for all of the people who worked very hard to put on such a big and complicated event to relax and have a good time together. Guests were entertained by performances of traditional Chinese music and dance, many of which were at Global Winter Wonderland during the holidays. Global Winter Wonderland was a great event, and everyone is looking forward to seeing it again at the end of this year. Lee Bing-he, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
If you are the one after party successfully held in ICN San Francisco TV station in Fremont on February 15th. In the name of If You Are the One dating show, this party is aimed at providing a dating platform for singles in the Bay Area, which has attracted many fans and single persons.
大家好，我名叫毛媛媛，英文名字 Gary 毛。我是去年2月号上了非诚勿扰。
我现在在 Cisco 当工程师。我的爱好应该就是游泳跟看韩剧吧。
I'm a single guy. It's like hiking, biking, anything outdoors.
What I like to do is go shopping, and I like to travel.
I think that this program is very popular. Yeah, and thanks to ICN to hosted this party.
With 27 non-native residents, according to Census 2010, San Francisco Bay Area has more singles than any other areas. There are hundreds of singles organizations and clubs to provide dating platform for singles looking for a relationship. Lee Bing-he, Ivy Lin, ICN, San Francisco.
The 9th annual Top 100 Restaurants Award ceremony was held on Saturday, February the 16th. The highlight of this year's award show is the ribbon-cutting ceremony for a 40-foot-long wall exhibit of the Sweet and Sour Timeline to celebrate the milestones of American Chinese cuisine within the past 160 years.
So this year, I'm going to be very busy just to receive all the awards. Yeah. Anyway, today is very nice to be here. I found out this is 160 years old. All the Chinese restaurants, I think, started in USA. I think that's wonderful.
非常荣幸，也非常高兴。水饺之国获得了中餐百家全优奖。我们餐馆呢，自从2007年10月份开业以来，一直秉承着对客户负责、对质量要求第一的要求，服务全湾区的客人。
The top 100 local favorite Chinese restaurants and top 10 chains were awarded following the ribbon cutting.
We're planning on doing an exhibition in 2014, and we're here today to talk with many of the Chinese restaurant owners in the San Francisco area and across the country who've come to this conference.
Happy New Year! 你们好，新年快乐，恭喜发财。今年我们是第一年把这个 business 以前都是在孔文森做的，把那个这种就会友搬到这种那个利沃来做，所以非常谢谢大家光临。
Chinese restaurants have become one of the most successful industries in America, with a sales revenue of $32 billion in 2012. Lee Bing-he, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
Demonstrators from more than 60 Chinese communities in the East Coast gathered in front of the Japanese consulate in New York to protest Japanese militarism resurrection on Thursday. Demonstrators carried signs and chanted slogans to protest Japanese militarism resurrection, support China's sovereignty over Diaoyu Islands, and call for U.S. respect to the historic issue of Diaoyu Islands. The Diaoyu Islands are a group of uninhabited islands located roughly due east of mainland China, northeast of Taiwan, west of Okinawa Island, and north of the southwestern end of the Ryukyu Islands. Diaoyu Islands were discovered and named by China. They have been China's inherent territory. Japan grabbed Diaoyu Island during China-Japan War and should return them to China after World War II, according to Potsdam Proclamation. Ibin He, Joanne Yang, ICN San Francisco.
Highly acclaimed Chinese singer Song Zhu-ying has kicked off her U.S. tour and will be coming to San Francisco on March 3rd. The show, Cultures of China Festival of Spring, will be held at the Davies Symphony Hall. As part of her U.S. tour, Song has also appeared in New York and Washington, D.C. She has done a wide range of important performances, including a duet with tenor Placido Domingo at the closing ceremony of the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing. Song performed with Celine Dion at the start of the Chinese New Year celebration. Her West Coast debut performance is one that should not be missed. Ibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. Former U.S. Representative Jesse Jackson Jr. pled guilty today to criminal charges that he engaged in a scheme to spend $750,000 in campaign funds on personal items. He faces 46 to 57 months in prison after waiving his rights to a trial. Jackson is free until June 28th, when he will be sentenced. Prosecutors said that upon conviction, Jackson must forfeit the money, as well as tens of thousands of dollars worth of property. Jackson's father, civil rights leader Jesse Jackson, attended the hearing and made no comment on the plea. Jackson's wife Sandra has also been charged with a maximum sentence of 3 years in prison. Ibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. A gunman went through several Orange County cities in Southern California on Tuesday, killing 3 and wounding many others. The suspect has been identified as Ali Syed, a 20-year-old with no criminal record. The violence began at 4:45 a.m. when a woman was fatally shot at home in Ladera Ranch.
No, this is a significant event, for the city of Tustin, and we certainly want to reassure the citizens that, this isn't a normal type of thing that happens in the city of Tustin. It's an isolated event, we believe, by somebody who went on a rampage, who is now not a threat to the community. So there's just no reason for fear at this point.
The suspect fled the scene in an SUV, then stopped on the freeway, opening fire on a number of passing vehicles. He killed 2 others in Santa Ana and Tustin before taking his own life in Villa Park. Police are currently trying to determine ownership of the shotgun used in the shootings. The FBI and the California Highway Patrol are assisting in the investigation. Ibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
A fleet of Chinese Marine civilian ships departed from Guangzhou on Monday to carry out regular patrol missions in the South China Sea, according to SOA, the State Oceanic Administration. The fleet consists of Haijian 84 and Haijian 72, an SOA statement issued on Wednesday said. The regular patrols are meant to safeguard the country's marine interests. Haijian is the Chinese equivalent of marine surveillance. Ibin He, Joanne Yang, ICN San Francisco.
Arms sales have seen a downturn, falling 5% between 2010 and 2011, as economies slowed and military purchases reduced for operations in Afghanistan and Iraq, according to a study by a leading think tank. Austerity policies and proposed decreases in military spending have led some companies to downsize or diversify into adjacent markets such as security and cybersecurity. Of the firms monitored in 2011, 74 were based in the United States and Western Europe, generating about 90% of the sales. The US and Europe dominate the market, with US group Lockheed Martin number 1 in sales, followed by Boeing, another US company. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
A labor shortage is sweeping through both the Pearl River Delta and Yangtze River Delta regions, China's two major economic powerhouses. A survey of 326 enterprises in Guangdong, involving 219,300 migrant workers, found that more than 80% of the enterprises expresses an urgent hiring demand, mainly for general workers. The demand for workers in Guangdong grew by 15.2% year-on-year at the end of last year, and the demand will continue to rise in the short term with the expanding economy, according to the Provincial Human Resources and Social Security Department. Enterprises in the Yangtze River Delta region face a similar problem finding workers to fill lower pay positions, as workers' demands have been higher than expected. Yibing He, Joanne Yang, ICN, San Francisco.
Napa has been rated as one of America's happiest cities in a new study by the University of Vermont. After going through 10 million posts on social networking site Twitter, researchers compiled a list of words associated with general happiness. Compared to other posts tagged to other cities, Napa had the most connections with words ranked highly on the list. San Francisco has also been rated as one of the country's happiest cities in a 2009 list by Forbes. The Forbes list was based on online interviews with 10,000 respondents to measure the perception of cities based on places, people, potential, and a variety of other areas. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee held a press event on Thursday to address the Asian community in the city. Lee talked on the importance of promoting business within the city and mentioned his plans to visit China in April and again later in the year for talks of making a better connection between the country and San Francisco.
The China SF program has been quite successful in gaining a lot more relationships, and they know we're interested in doing things both ways. For example, a few weeks ago I had a meeting with the solar companies that are already located here in San Francisco, and we're entering into a lot of good ideas about how they can increase their presence.
He also mentioned the Chinese New Year Parade and Festival, which will be held on Saturday, February 23rd.
And as we celebrate the Chinese New Year's with the parade, which I expect because of the weather predictions, we'll have 1 million people come in, and it'll be a very exciting year of the serpent or the mini dragon.
Mayor Lee answered questions, including those on the subject of the city's real estate market and development plans.
There are a number of different properties that I know about. I'm not privy to talk about them, but they're being invested in by Chinese, both individuals and corporations. And so my job is to get as much of it as I can for San Francisco.
Lee was very positive about Chinese investment in the city and hopeful for the future. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. The Asian Art Museum of San Francisco at 200 Larkin Street is opening their exhibit, China's Terracotta Warriors.
Should be interesting. We went there once before with a free showing.
Yeah, the first Sunday free day we go.
Yes, I would like to see it. I was just thinking about it when I was walking down the street. So.
Okay, great. So what do you know about it?
I know that there were many of them unearthed in China. I don't know how many, like, in my memory, I think it's like hundreds, right? And it's pretty exciting to see them over there. So.
The exhibit will showcase 10 statues from the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, and it will open from February 22nd until May 27th. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
There will be a Chinese New Year Lantern Festival and riddle guessing on Saturday, February 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at 10931 Maxine Avenue, Cupertino. There will be food, drinks, singing, and socializing. We invite you all to attend.
Under California Governor Jerry Brown's proposed overhaul of school funding, many Bay Area school districts could see their revenues from the state increase by up to 7.3% next year. The list of projected revenue increases included more than 1,000 school districts based on year-old enrollment and finance data and estimates of needy students. Governor Brown's plan is to narrow revenue gaps among similar districts but benefit those with hard-to-educate students over the next 7 years. Despite the balancing calculus, school districts serving privileged children will almost certainly continue to receive the most funding. Brown's proposal must be adopted by the legislature before going into effect, and schools have already begun lobbying for and against it. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
The recent reunited American boy band 98 Degrees announced the dates of their new album on February 20th. This new record, titled 2.0, will meet the fans on May 7th. This is also the band's first studio album since 2000. Band member Nick Lange said in a recent release that, "We are really excited to bring our friends new music and get out on the road." The band has announced their reunion back on August 2012 when they first performed on a live TV show in more than 10 years. The boys will also hit the road, joining 2 other boy bands, New Kids on the Block and Boys II Men, this summer in a tour called the Package Tour. 98 Degrees, consisting of brothers Nick Lange and Drew Lange, Jeff Timmons, and Justin Jeffrey, is one of the most famous boy bands in America in the late 90s. The band, releasing 3 studio albums, 1 Christmas album before the hiatus in 2002, has sold over 10 million records worldwide, with 8 top 40 singles in the US, including the most favored Because of You and I Do. This is Justin Jia.
After 4 years of waiting for Major League Baseball to decide whether or not the Oakland A's can move to downtown San Jose over the San Francisco Giants' territorial objections, city leaders are still being kept in the dark. Reports came in Thursday that the MLB has given the A's guidelines for satisfying concerns about the San Jose move. The Athletics have been seeking a new home off and on since the late 1970s under various owners, saying that poor attendance makes the club dependent on revenue-sharing subsidies from other teams. After failed attempts at new ballpark projects in Oakland and Fremont, the A's sought permission in 2009 to move to San Jose. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.